megawatts of power. Amazon will use this electricity to power its warehouses, cloud services centers, web centers, other operations, and to our homes through local electricity service providers. But why is this billion-dollar behemoth attempting to enter the electricity market when its primary business is thriving? The answer is to target of becoming a carbon-neutral firm by 2040. This would also assist India in achieving its carbon-neutral goal, which was set for 2070. By 2047, the nation also aims to revolutionize power generation through the development of green energy and enhance job growth. So soon, it could be a possibility that our Amazon OTT box is powered by Amazon itself.
Membership 1, खुशियां अनेक.
Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Co-powered by Samsonite. Tested like Samsonite. Volkswagen Tiguan, India's safest SUV.
Indian Army's 2016 surgical strike on terror launchpads in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Senior Congress leader Digvijay Singh demands proof again.
सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक की बात करते हैं कि हमने इतने लोग मार गिराए, लेकिन प्रमाण कुछ नहीं, केवल झूठ का पुलंदा से ये राज कर रहे हैं.
Jairam Ramesh tries to block the India Today mic in a damage control exercise. But is the damage control effort too late?
अगर सेना ने कह दिया सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक हुई है, उसका प्रमाण आप बार बार मांगते हो, ये अपने आप में दर्शाता है कि आपका विश्वास हमारी वीर सेना पर भी नहीं है.
BJP launches a frontal attack on the Congress. Time for the government to share details of surgical strikes in Parliament, or has the Congress scored a self-goal? Digvijay's surgical strike on Bharat Jodo Yatra is a top focus on India First. Senior Congress leader Digvijay Singh is in the eye of a political storm after he sought proof of surgical strikes and asked the senator to explain lapses that led to the terror attack at Pulwama. Is it then time for the government to produce evidence of the surgical strikes in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and the Balakot airstrike in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and put an end to this controversy once and for all? Or, with Pakistan having conceded Indian Air Force struck in violation of all agreements between the two countries, is there need for proof? I'm Gaurav Sawant. We get you more on this story. But first, as always, the headlines. Bar Association writes to Home Minister demanding a probe into the international conspiracy angle in the BBC Modi film. JNU cancels screening, says it could disturb communal harmony. India celebrates the 126th birth anniversary of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Memorial proposal dedicated to the freedom fighter in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Political war over legacy escalates as 21 islands are named after the 21 Paramveer Chakra winners. since independence. Big boost to Indian Navy's submarine fleet. Indian Navy commissions INS Wagir, the sand shark. Third submarine to be added in 24 months. Major cities in Pakistan without electricity after the national grid breaks down. Citizens outrage over poor infrastructure. Power Minister declares it's not a big crisis. Tech winter settles globally. Microsoft, Amazon, Wipro and Meta among several tech giants to slash workforce by thousands. Next, Spotify to lay off 6% employees. Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra is in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Senior Congress leader Digvijay Singh today asked the Narendra Modi government to explain lapses that resulted in terrorists striking a CRPF convoy in Pulwama in February 2019 and sought proof of the subsequent surgical strikes or airstrikes in Balakot. The BJP pounced on the opportunity and hit back, accusing the Congress of questioning the valor of our braves. Sensing perhaps a self-goal, senior Congress leader Jairam Ramesh pushed India Today's mics away. But has Digvijay Singh actually scored a self-goal or carried out a surgical strike on the Bharat Jodo Yatra? Sunil Ji Bhatt in Jammu with this report.
सीआरपीएफ के लोगों ने मांग की थी जवानों को हवाई जहाज से श्रीनगर से दिल्ली भेजा जाए, लेकिन मोदी जी ने मना कर दिया। स्कॉर्पियो गाड़ी उल्टी दिशा से आती है और हमारे 40 सीआरपीएफ के जवान शहीद हो जाते हैं। उस घटना की जानकारी ना संसद में उन्होंने पेश की।
लैप्स हुआ है, बिल्कुल लैप्स हुआ है।
It appears to be yet another self-goal by the grand old party. At a time when Rahul Gandhi is in Jammu and Kashmir on his Bharat Jodo Yatra, a senior Congress leader has raised doubts about the surgical strike in 2016 by the Indian Army, soon after a terror attack on its camp in Uri. Senior leader Digvijay Singh at a public meet in Jammu claimed that Narendra Modi government had failed to furnish proof on the surgical strike.
सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक की बात करते हैं कि हमने इतने लोग मार गिराए, लेकिन प्रमाण कुछ नहीं। केवल झूठ का पुलंदा से ये राज कर रहे हैं।
The Congress leader also claimed the Modi government had refused the CRPF demand for airlifting, indicating that the Pulwama terror attack in 2019 that killed 40 personnel was the result of security lapse.
सीआरपीएफ के लोगों ने, डायरेक्टर ने मांग की थी इन सीआरपीएफ के जवानों को हवाई जहाज से श्रीनगर से दिल्ली भेजा जाए, लेकिन मोदी जी ने मना कर दिया और हमारे 40 सीआरपीएफ के जवान शहीद हो जाते हैं। आज तक उस घटना की जानकारी ना संसद में उन्होंने पेश की, ना जनता के सामने रखी।
हुई है इसकी रिपोर्ट।
When India Today confronted Digvijay Singh over his controversial remark, senior Congress leader Jairam Ramesh shoved away India Today mic and pushed our reporter Sunil Bhatt, asking him not to divert the issue. This was not the first time that Digvijay has questioned the surgical strike.
श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी से बड़ा झूठा व्यक्ति हमने देखा नहीं। खुले में तो सैटेलाइट के माध्यम से सारी पिक्चर सामने आ जाती है। तो जिस तरह का प्रमाण अमेरिका की सरकार ने उसामा बिन लादेन के बारे में पूरे विश्व को दिया, उस तरह का प्रमाण हमको भी देना चाहिए।
While Digvijay Singh continues to doubt the anti-terror crackdown by the army, Pakistani voices have conceded in the past that India indeed carried out surgical strikes in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and killed at least 5 soldiers and many terrorists.
19
1971 के बाद आज तक कभी इंडिया ने पाकिस्तान की फजा को क्रॉस नहीं किया जी। बाई एयर अटैक 1971 आखिरी साल था, कारगिल की लड़ाई में भी नहीं किया जी, सॉरी। और आज जो उनके 14 जहाज आए, जिस दिन जब्बा में गालबन अजहर साहब का मदरसा बेहतर बताएंगे, यहाँ बैठे हैं, मदरसा तालीमुल कुरान एक है जरूर है, लेकिन वो ना होने के बराबर है।
Digvijay Singh's latest outburst has given the BJP fresh ammunition to target the Congress.
INC should be named as PPP, Pak Parast Party, because once again the Congress party is down to spreading the Pakistani narrative, and Congress का हाथ फिर से एक बार पाकिस्तान के साथ।
The Indian Army had launched the surgical strike as a retaliatory measure on the intervening night of September 29th and 30th in 2016. The strike was in response to the terror attack on an army camp in Uri that killed 17 Indian soldiers. With Sunil Bhatt in Jammu, Bureau Report, India Today.
So Digvijay Singh may be trying to put the Narendra Modi government on the mat on the issue of airstrikes or surgical strikes, but listen in to leaders in Pakistan. From then Prime Minister of Pakistan Imran Khan to Pakistan's current Deputy Foreign Minister Hina Rabari Khar to former Federal Minister Sheikh Rashid conceding in Pakistan that Indian Air Force jets had crossed the border for the first time after 1971 war and bombed Pakistan.
You don't try and build trust, you are breaking trust. You do not do that when you send jets into my territory after 1971 for the first time.
वो 20 साला नौजवान, उसने अपने आप को एक बम मार के उड़ाया एक फौजी काफिले पे, और तो जब उसने हमला किया तो हमारे ऊपर जिम्मेदार हमें ठहराया नरेंद्र मोदी ने, और हिंदुस्तान के जेट आए और पाकिस्तान में बालाकोट में उन्होंने बमबारी की।
1971 के बाद आज तक कभी इंडिया ने पाकिस्तान की फजा को क्रॉस नहीं किया जी। बाई एयर अटैक 1971 आखिरी साल था, कारगिल की लड़ाई में भी नहीं किया जी, सॉरी। और आज जो उनके 14 जहाज आए, जिस दिन जब्बा में गालबन अजहर साहब का मदरसा बेहतर बताएंगे, यहाँ बैठे हैं, मदरसा तालीमुल कुरान एक है जरूर है, लेकिन वो ना होने के बराबर है।
जब दुश्मन जो है, एक हमारा अजली दुश्मन जो है हमारी सरजमीन पे हमलावर होता है, तो हमारा फ़र्ज़ बनता है वसीयत पाकिस्तानी कि हम सब मिलके जो है उस दुश्मन का मुकाबला करें और उसकी जाहिरियत का जो है वो उसका जवाब दें।
हमारी 2 दफ़ा नेशनल सिक्योरिटी मीटिंग हुई है। पाकिस्तानी फ़ौज को पूरी तरह पता है कि इन्होंने प्लान बनाया हुआ है आज़ाद कश्मीर में एक्शन लेने का। जिस तरह पुलवामा के बाद इन्होंने बालाकोट में एक्शन लिया था, उससे भी हमें जो इंफॉर्मेशन है ज्यादा खौफनाक प्रोग्राम बनाया हुआ है।
So you heard one leader after the other in Pakistan. They've not only concerned that it's been carried out a surgical strike, an airstrike was carried out in Balakot. You heard Sheikh Rashid that he's conceding that Jaish-e-Mohammed had a Talib-e-Quran madrasa in Jabba, in Balakot, when Indian Air Force, 14 Indian Air Force fighter jets struck. You heard Sheikh Rashid there. Imran Khan fears that Narendra Modi is going to do something bigger in the years ahead. So has Digvijay Singh actually scored a self-goal for the Congress? Joining me on India First, Lieutenant General Satish Dua. He is former Kashmir Corps Commander. Incidentally, he was the Kashmir Corps Commander at the time of the surgical strikes. Charu Pragya represents the Bharatiya Janata Party. The Congress, of course, has distanced itself from Digvijay Singh's statement. And we have Syed Asad Abbas, a political analyst. He'll give us the Congress Party perspective on the broadcast. But my first question is to India Today's executive editor, Shiv Arur, who joins us on the show. Shiv, you've written very extensively about the surgical strikes and the Balakot airstrikes. In fact, you've spoken to the team that carried out the operations across the surgical strikes after Uri. Shiv, is there evidence? Does Indian Army have evidence of the surgical strike? Give us proof, says Digvijay Singh.
You know, Gaurav, if I didn't know better, I would say this is sabotage by Digvijay Singh. It is political stupidity of the highest kind. It has led to all sorts of jokes with people saying, has Digvijay Singh joined the BJP? Why would he bring up surgical strikes at a time like this? Especially on Parakram Divas. One can ask all manner of questions, but there will always be those who say that it is a serious question. Why hasn't this question been answered before? Well, the fact is, when it comes to parliamentary standing committees, certain meetings with the opposition as well, I'm sure information of some kind has been shared. But the very nature of Special Forces operations, whether pre-2014 or now, those details are not shared. They are not meant for the political space. And the reason why 2016 became such a big political hot potato is because the government had decided specifically to announce it and reveal it to the entire world. Now, I happen to be, one of only 2 journalists in the country who has interacted with not only the commanding officer of the 4 para during the surgical strikes, but the officer who was awarded the Kirti Chakra, second highest, gallantry medal for that particular operation, in which 38 terrorists were killed, in a series of launch pads. And I can tell you that they have all manner of proof, video proof, data, electronic intelligence, photographs, all manner of proof. And this is not just one person. This was 4 separate teams of special forces who had gone in there. So, asking for evidence of this, especially after it blew up in your face just a few years ago in 2019 and 2018, smacks of either a complete failure to understand how sensitive this issue is, or to completely misread the mood, around the surgical strikes. One can argue that questions of this kind ought to be asked, Pulwama, surgical strikes, Balakot, etc. But the fact remains that what is Digvijay Singh really trying to achieve here? What is his real role here as far as the Bharat Jodo Yatra is concerned? Looking at it in that context, this is basically political stupidity and suicide in my view.
Okay. Let me then take this shift. Stay with me for a moment, but let me take this to General Dua. General Dua, you were commanding the Kashmir Corps at that point of time. Sir, did a surgical strike take place? Does the army have any proof? Or is this, or as Digvijay Singh says, झूठ का पुलिंदा है, कुछ भी बोलते हैं राज करने के लिए?
Gaurav, I'm at loss for words. Like you said, I was the corps commander when we did this bold operation in retaliation to their attack where we lost at Uri, where we lost 18 soldiers. Now, it's a parliamentary democracy, our country. And perhaps, I'm not going to get into politics of it, but anyone can ask questions. But when the questions have been answered by the authorities, by the government, the DGMO, the Director General of Military Operations, comes in full uniform to a press conference and announces that we did this. The whole country is taking ownership. I think that all the questions should have been answered by just that statement itself.
Okay.
And when Balakot, when the Jabhat of Balakot happened in response to Pulwama, the air chief, he did not make the announcement, but air chief came on national television and said that this happened and this was the operation and this was launched on the terror camp. When this sort of a thing happens, I think it is sad that questions should be raised after that. It demoralizes the forces.
Okay.
Why? It demoralizes the forces because Indian Army, Indian Armed Forces are totally apolitical. It does not matter which political party is in power. And not only do they do their duty to their best, they risk their lives to carry out these operations.
Oh, absolutely.
And after that, if questions are being raised for very different and petty or political reasons, I think is not fair on the armed forces.
Okay. Syed Asad Abbas, petty political reasons. Should the government give proof, or has Digvijay Singh carried out a surgical strike on Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra?
Well, Gaurav Saab, you just couldn't get better and articulated than that. As a matter of fact, I truly think and agree with my friend Shiv Arur that undoubtedly Digvijay Singh is playing on the side of BJP. He's being a Trojan horse, cutting a sorry figure for the Congress and the Rahul Gandhi. Also, let us understand that why is Digvijay Singh so embarrassing? You know, calling out not just that, saying saffron terrorism, to this, to saying that forward-thinking women who wear jeans and t-shirt vote for Rahul Gandhi, so on and so forth. I truly believe today that Digvijay Singh is a Trojan horse. Not just that.
So that's a very grave allegation to level without evidence. That's a very grave allegation to level, because in a democracy, it's the job of the opposition to ask questions. And Charu Pragya, why is the BJP government not showing proof to Digvijay Singh and the Congress party? He's accused the Narendra Modi government of running the country through lies, half-truths and absolute lies, ma'am.
Gaurav, good evening. And please give me some time because I want to go through a little bit of history. Now, Digvijay Singh is the same person at the time of 9/11 attacks in Mumbai who said that this was carried out by the form of a RSS ki sazish. And what did Congress government do at that point of time? Push papers. They literally wrote letters and left it at that. There was no retaliation for precious Indian lives lost. They left it at that. But when the regime changes, we understand how powerful political will can be. And we proved it with these surgical strikes. Now, it doesn't matter which side Congress is on anymore, which side Digvijay Singh is on anymore, because this proof has been given not by Modi ji, not by Bharatiya Janata Party, but by our honorable army, by our brave and valiant leaders of the army, also by the Pakistani government. What more proof does he want years and years after the surgical strike?
I have a counter to Charu, if I'm allowed.
No, wait, let me finish.
The moment she completes, I'll come to you, sir.
Can I please finish this? You know, we see other Congress leaders trying to get the narrative back on track. But the fact is, this is not a one-time offense. This offense has been done by Congress leaders repeatedly, including Mr. Gandhi. So if the Pakistani Prime Minister says Bharatiya Army khaufnak hai, we heard it on your show just now, Gaurav. What does Rahul Gandhi call the Bharatiya Army? हमारे लड़के पिट रहे हैं. इस तरीके की भाषा का जब आप इस्तेमाल करेंगे, you put down the valor and bravery of our men who literally sacrifice everything to guard their motherlands and all of us. Also, Congress very conveniently sides with the army and makes its distance from the army. Let me just finish. I'll be very quick. You will remember, Gaurav, Lieutenant General Hooda ji was at that point of time leading the surgical strikes. Congress got him on board boasting about his credentials when they wanted to put together a task force to discuss internal security of India. So when you want to use the army to boast about the kind of
very interesting you point that, and Syed Asad Abbas, that's a very valid point that Charu Pragya raises, that when the Congress party wanted a task force on security, they got the same General Hooda who was Army Commander, Northern Command that time.
And they spoke about
and
it
now
everywhere.
Digvijay Singh questions the surgical strikes and perhaps even the airstrikes.
I'm glad that my friend Charu raised this point. The fact of the matter, we need to understand that even during UPA rule, there were post-border counter operations which were taking place time and again. What happened with the BJP? BJP rubbished all claims of the UPA, saying that where is the proof? What proof do they have? They even called out for an RTI.
Let me bring in General Dua. Let me bring in General Dua on the aspect of proof. Let's just settle this issue of proof once and for all. General Dua General Dua, will producing evidence, whether it's pictures or other details, will it compromise future operations? If there are pictures, put them out in public domain. Let the world see, General Dua.
This is not any other ministry. We are not showing productivity of a particular organization or a body. This is national security we are talking about. Special forces operations. If some videos or some proof is actually put out, this will compromise national security. This will compromise our modus operandi. This will compromise our future operations or jeopardize perhaps our future operations. We will place the lives of soldiers who may have to undertake such operations again at risk. The point I'd like to end with is to say that what proof do you want? Do you want bodies to be brought back? I mean, and as far as, trying, that's very filmy to expect some kind of proof, because any thing more than that has already been given. I'm sure at certain levels, in like somebody said earlier, in some committee level meetings, some proof has been shared, but it is not in national interest to put it
Okay.
in public domain.
Okay, you're saying it's not in national interest to put it in public domain. But Charu Pragya, what stops the Prime Minister or Defence Minister Rajnath Singh or even External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar to take top opposition leaders in confidence and give them a briefing in the South Block war room and show them pictures there and tell them don't talk about it in public, but this is proof?
But tell me something, Gaurav. When has any kind of detailing which has been given to them in the past also made any kind of a difference to them? Like I'm saying, this happens to be a political party which is always caught standing on the wrong side of the border. It could be the Pakistani side or the Chinese side, but they always forget that they are Indians and they should be on this side of the border. Every single time they forget that. And I want to ask any Congress supporter, because I don't see an official spokesperson on your show if they are listening to you, what have they done about these kind of comments which repeatedly come from their leaders? Has Rahul Gandhi said that what Digvijay Singh ji said, I do not agree with it? Have they removed him from his official post in the Congress party? Like I said, these kind of comments are repetitive, and it's unfortunate that they have come on a day like today when we wake up celebrating India, we wake up celebrating the Indian Army, we are celebrating Parakram Divas today. Here we have a Prime Minister who's naming islands after the brave men of the Indian Army. And on the other side, we have a leader of the Congress who's apparently, supposedly on something which he calls the Bharat Jodo Yatra, where he's hell-bent.
Sayed, last 30 seconds, did Barack Obama give any proof that Osama bin Laden had been killed and buried at sea? Barack Obama simply made a statement. Here, you had General Ranbir Singh, the then DGMO, who made a statement of surgical strike, and yet the Congress want proof. Does that show, as the BJP argues, the Congress has no faith in our army or our government?
Gaurav, I completely attribute this towards you. It must be India first to all the respective parties. We might have our differences, but when it comes to India, when it comes to the motherland and the army, the national security, it must be one word and one voice. Asking for proof with your own brethren is not the answer. So therefore, Digvijay Singh must not be attributed to the whole of Congress. And therefore, we must understand neither the BJP or the Congress must question each other on national security. Stand must be sacrosanct. That is the way to go, sir.
Because you heard General Dua there that showing any evidence could impact future operations. Remember when Air Force also went and bombed Balakot? People said, where is proof that so many terrorists had been killed? And on India Today, we got you one Pakistani leader after the other crying their heart out that India had carried out airstrikes in Jabba, Balakot, Pakistan, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. General, I will come back to you. I've run out of time on this part of the show, but this is a story we'll be tracking very closely. Politics on national security, should that very strictly be avoided? Coming up next, Abha Bakaya with Business Today.
It's 2023, and India remains the sole shining star in the global economy. So what lies ahead as the Modi government prepares its last full budget before the 2024 general elections? Join the biggest names in business journalism, decoding the jargon with the biggest newsmakers. From the most credible, in-depth analysis of Budget 2023, tune in for Modinomics 2023 through the month. Only on India Today and Business Today Television, gold standard of business journalism.
You have said the BJP and the RSS are using Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's name just to further their own interest. Do you believe so?
I've heard that the RSS would like to celebrate Netaji's birthday, and if the RSS is willing to embrace Netaji's values and his ideas, I'm certainly happy. I'm very happy that members of all parties across the spectrum remember Netaji, respect him and love him. But I certainly would not agree that Netaji shared the ideology of what I believe is RSS ideology.
You seriously think whatever the BJP and the Prime Minister have been doing over the past many years is just to make sure that they take the legacy of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose? There is a fight which has been taking place over the past many years between Congress and BJP about the ideology of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Both the parties claim Netaji was theirs.
I'm not quite sure I heard your question correctly, but if I answered the wrong thing, please point it out to me. Netaji certainly was a socialist leader. He considered himself part of the Congress left wing, and he believed in the uplifting of the downtrodden, of all underprivileged people, as well, of course, as those who are well off. But he certainly, first and foremost, believed in the fact that members of all religions and of all castes should live peacefully together with mutual respect.
Do you think India now is doing more than ever to showcase Netaji to the world?
I certainly think that the present government is doing a lot to pay homage and to pay their respects to Netaji in many different ways. And I certainly welcome this. And I also have to admit that some of the previous governments have not gone out of their way to that extent.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Hello and welcome. You're with us here on Business Today. I'm Abha Bakaya. Here are the day's top stories. Kotak Institutional Equity, Sanjeev Prasad expects a 5.5% growth over the next fiscal, adds that he doesn't expect any major headwinds or tailwinds on the interest rate front as he expects a sharp slump in inflation going forward. Wealth creation strategies, equity market outlook, macros and lots more coming up. Join us at Business Today's Market Today Summit tomorrow as the biggest voices decode the moves and the road ahead. Private lender Yes Bank plummets in trade on an 80% decline in profits. And that's not all for the news flow on Yes Bank. The Bombay High Court has quashed their decision to write off additional Tier 1, that's 81 bonds worth 8,300 crores. The lender is now expected to challenge the decision in the Apex Court. With only 8 days to go, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman prepares to present the Union Budget 2023. PTTV compiles a list of suggestions made by citizens to help the budget-making process. After a strong handover from Wall Street, benchmarks on the Lal Street mirrored global gains. The Nifty consistently hovered above 18,100, closing the session 90 points higher to settle at 18,118. The Sensex clocked in a 300-point surge to end the session above 60,000. Sectorally, the day belonged to the IT and financials pack. Most sectors traded in the green, barring the realty names today. Among the gainers on the Nifty, we had names like Sun Pharma, HUL, Eicher Motors, UPL and Tech Mahindra. Among the laggards, two key cement names, Ultratech and Grasim, followed by stocks like NTPC, Tata Steel and JSW Steel. In a freewheeling interview with India Today Group's global business editor Udayan Mukherjee, Kotak Equities Managing Director Sanjeev Prasad believes that growth momentum in banks will sustain. He also shares his view on auto stocks. Here's an excerpt.
I suspect the market will not do much in the first half. That's how I would look at it. And hopefully the second half, as valuation becomes slightly more reasonable based on roll forward of earnings, hopefully maybe the market start performing. So let me just elaborate a little bit. So if you look at currently where we are in terms of